Social media apps are changing the way they handle child safety. But are these changes enough to protect our kids online? Today, we're breaking down the latest child safety regulations and what parents must know. Welcome back to the Family Cyber Tips Daily, where on Wednesdays we focus on trending tech news. So, did you know that social media companies are facing increasing pressure to protect kids online? In response, new safety rules have been rolled out. But are they enough? Stay with me as I break down what every parent must know. Okay? So let's look at why new safety regulations. Why do we need them? The answer is very clear. In 2025, regulators have introduced stricter policies to address concerns like online predators, harmful content, and excessive screen time. And this is partly due to mounting pressure from advocacy groups and alarming reports about the dangers kids face online. And so government and tech companies are now working together to strengthen child protection laws and improve parental control features. Okay? So let's look at the major changes in social media apps. Okay? We'll look at them very closely. TikTok. It's a kid's favorite. They love it. They gravitate towards it. So really, it will be a no-brainer that all other social media apps were looked at and these weren't. Okay? So we have TikTok. If you go into TikTok, and I know that some of you parents who are part of the community would have taken instructions from us a while ago, where we have given you a to-do. You know, if you browse through the YouTube channel, the portal, you will see a lot of information, but a miniature version. Default private accounts for users under 16, restricted direct messaging, and content moderation for young audiences are the changes that have been made to TikTok. Okay? So default private accounts for users under 16. And that obviously will safeguard kids who are under 16. Direct messaging is now restricted, and content moderation for young audiences has now been restricted too, okay? Or at least reinforced, and it's important. I'm looking at the comments, nothing that jumps out. The next app will be Instagram. There are now stricter content recommendations, removal of adult interactions with minors, and improved parental supervision tools. These things should tick every box, you know, on the grounds of child safety. You know, they've listened to our feedback from parents like you and I, and they're doing something. They're taking the control back, really, which I often say is the ethos of this platform. Okay? So these are things now that they're rolling out to these big players in the social media app market, and they're getting them to enforce or roll out these things. And that's important, okay? So that's TikTok and Instagram. What about the rest? YouTube Kids, a favorite of the channel. We stand on our heads and really recommend it to every parent, certainly instead of the full-fledged YouTube. Okay? AI-powered filtering is now in place to prevent harmful content, improved reporting tools, and screen time limits for younger users. Again, they're listening. They are listening because these are things that we flagged. Okay, yes, we want our kids not to be exposed to inappropriate content on the big YouTube for adults. but then you're loose on those things on YouTube Kids. That was unforgivable. And so now AI-powered filtering is in place, and that will help prevent harmful content. Improved reporting tools also is a big one. And we can't really ignore them. These changes sound promising. So the question will be, do they go far enough? Some critics argue that enforcement remains a challenge, and indeed it is. You know, enforcing stuff like that on the internet is crucially and frustratingly difficult. So this is where you as a parent and caregiver must still play an active role in keeping your kids safe. Remember, I've mentioned that we can't outsource this to the government or to these, big players. We have to be involved because no one will love our kids more than we do. Okay? So we have to play active roles in keeping our kids safe. All right? So a question will be, what can you as a parent do right now? Okay? It's a valid question. What can you as a parent do right now? What are you doing right now? And that's important for us, certainly with all that we see going on. It's important that we know what we as caregivers and parents are doing, all right? While these updates that have been rolled out are a step in the right direction, parents like you and I and caregivers must take extra precautions, all right? So let's look at some key actions that you and I can take today, I being a grandparent. Enable what we always throw at you, parental controls. Really, it's a no-brainer. We have to enable parental controls on these platforms. Use the built-in safety features on social media apps to limit content and interactions. Why not use it if it's there? And it's proven to work. So it's not like a gimmick. It's not like it's immature, it's new. No, it is full-fledged, quite mature. So enable parental controls on those social media apps and make sure that you're limiting content and interactions as a result, okay? Talk to your kids. I wish I had a megaphone. Talk to your kids about online risks. Help them understand the importance of privacy and safe browsing habits, okay? Crucial that we get involved. Again, we can't outsource this responsibility. In fact, it's a God-given responsibility that we must engage our kids all around, not just on certain areas, but all areas, more so digital engagement online, okay? Set screen time limits. Yes, seems like a redundant advice that we give on this platform. Well, it will save you and the child at the end of the day. Balance digital use with offline activities like we mentioned yesterday. It helps promote a healthier tech lifestyle, okay? Now, I'm glad that we're getting some momentum. When I looked at the subscription list yesterday, we're now, I believe it's 983, So we're going in the right direction, which means we're adding value, or at least providing value. And in doing that, we're helping you stay informed, which will be another thing that we'll recommend that you do. Stay informed. Keep up with changes in online regulations like we're announcing to you today. And this will help ensure your child's online safety. Okay? This is not something we can take for granted. It's not something that we can park and come back to later. This is now. Okay? When your child comes back from school, I can tell you for free that they're going to be using their smartphone or their tablet, whatever it is, they're going to be online. And so that is where they prefer to go. And you can't stop them. You try and you're mean about it, you will lose them because they're not doing it in front of you. They're going to do it elsewhere. If you have a child who prefers going outside, then there's some dynamic that's off, okay? Technology is evolving. And as a parent, you need to know that. But whilst that's happening, the risks are also evolving. The rogue does not stay redundant. They don't do the same tricks or the same scams. They're evolving too. And so by staying informed and involved, as a parent, you can create a safer digital world for your children. So what do you think? What do you think about the new regulations? Be nice if you let us know in the comments. Like we mentioned earlier, are they going far enough, or have they gone far enough? And because we know there are issues with enforcement, the answer really, if you think about it, doesn't matter because you're there. All right? They've done something. And you now are duty bound to continue the fight. Okay? It is a battle. Really. The rogue is not going to let off. I got some information about the scam that I mentioned I was exposed to. And it appears that I can get a refund if I report it to the right channel. So that's that's healthy, you know. But Action Fraud got back to me and gave me an update that these things are really happening. And I'm sharing this because you need information to be able to tackle these. You know, I was not going to give them a name, but to tackle the rogue, you need information. And this is where you must, at least every evening, park your bus at 6 p.m. and let me pour into you. And then you use that information in addition to what you already have. You fight them off, okay? Please subscribe for more family cyber tips and let us together get to the 1K mark before the end of April. Don't forget to hit the notification bell when you subscribe so that you will never miss an episode of this wonderful podcast, okay? I've been your host, Lawrence Edem, until tomorrow at 6 o'clock. God bless and goodbye.